Just so many good things coming together, and all just exciting stuff. So
Absolutely. Welcome,
I'm
everybody.
not exhausted. I'm energized, Marty,
Yeah.
because I just did a presentation in like record time. I don't know how we got to get that time frame down there because it was like record. I explained the entire Nexus ecosystem like that.
About
So
22
more
minutes.
energized than you could imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, very exciting stuff. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Nexus ecosystem. We are excited to be here tonight. We're going to go over some information. Of course, today, a historic day. CNP is live. It is minting, and people are able to go there and use it. Right now, it's on a whitelisting area. When you go there on Thursday, it will be on the front page for you to be able to go to Mint and go directly there on the public sale side of things. There will be about 600 or 700 NFTs available on the public sale side. So here's what we need to do for the people that are watching in this. We need to go out and share this with as many people as we can and say, hey, you missed the whitelist side of things, but you can still get in on the public sale and make this happen. Because what we want to do is have whatever quantity that is that's left go just like that, right? We want to sell it out in minutes because perception is reality. And we're going to go out and we're going to say, hey, here's the news. Here's the press release that we were able to sell out and mint in 12 minutes, 8 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes a day, whatever it is, right? Whatever it realistically is, because it's on the blockchain. So people can go check, right? So 2 o'clock tomorrow, or Thursday afternoon, 2 o'clock Thursday afternoon. So if you're on the whitelist right now, you have till noon on Thursday to go pull the trigger and get that done. Now, I kind of have learned in life that why put off to do on Thursday what you can do today, because something comes up, you're like, I missed it. And then you're going to go to try to get the public sale and they're going to be gone. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh man, I got to go out on the secondary market. And then you're like, well, the greatest community in the world bought up most of these NFTs. So who's going to be selling their NFT, right? And then, the Celestials and all the other stuff that's coming down the road, you're just like, oh, man, I missed out again. So if you are on the whitelist, go on as soon as possible. Get your Matic, get your stuff, get your purchase done. And then it'll be exciting on Thursday. We just did an AMA with a great group of people about an hour or so ago. And I know that Austin jumped into another one after that on Clubhouse. So it's just meeting after meeting after meeting, promoting and getting these out there. We had another community come on board. They're doing an AMA to expose it to their community. Austin has been talking with a group that sold out their NFTs, 10,000 of them, and they're minting and they're offering. They're going to be sharing and promoting this with their groups. So a lot of activity going on. And of course, Super Bowl, the way that the event is set up for the evening party is there's a red carpet. And then all of the stars will walk down the red carpet. At the end of the red carpet, there's an area they can't get by. There's no way to sneak by it. They need to go in front of what's called the step and repeat. That's a background. You guys have seen these at the Academy Awards and other types of things where they walk in front of a background, they snap a picture. On that background is Mixed Martian Arts Club, TruBadger, NSI. Our logos are right there. So some of the biggest names in hip hop and in entertainment are going to be walking in front of this, getting the pictures taken. And of course, we'll be able to utilize those photos, those images through our marketing and stuff of these projects. And then they're all going to go to what's called the VIP area where they're going to be hanging out, right? And it'll be a very small select group of people that'll be there. We have, TruBadger Insights has 4 tickets to that area. Austin and Mixed Martian Arts Club has tickets to that. So let's say they have 4, there's 8 of us and there's only 80 people in the room. That's only 10 people each for us to build relationships with, get to know, talk to about this. And these are some of the biggest names out there in the entertainment industry, not just music, film, right? So there's some big film people coming. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal on what we're going to be able to promote. Second side of this, guys, is Randy is on a mission, right? He's out connections, contacts, talking to them about MetaMars. I mean, he's on it, right? And when you start to think about, if you said, oh man, I want somebody in the film industry to promote a project for me, like Randy would be at the top of the list, right? He'd be on that list that says, this is one of the people you want to connect with and be part of in Hollywood. Okay. And then we have a technology list. So this is a game. It's a play to earn. It's the metaverse. It's all these things. And so if you made a list of the top 10 technologies in the space, Ripples is on that list, if not at the top of that list, when it especially gets to the metaverse. They're involved with this project. So I think it was my mom who said something like, if you want to see how successful you're going to be, look at the 5 closest people to you who you're hanging out with. Very much like that with projects. So it's the team and who they're hanging out with, who they're associating with. And when you start talking about people like Randy, when you start talking about Ripples, when you talk about the people we'll be meeting at the event, when you talk about working with muon.net, you're talking about surrounding it. And then we wrap all of that with the most phenomenal community on planet Earth, right? People that understand that this is not a slot machine at the casino where you go in and you hit the jackpot and run out the door, right? These are projects. These are things that will bring on a life of their own. And I'm going to use this as a very good example. If you would have gotten involved in Amazon when it first launched its IPO, you could have sold out a week later, a month later, probably made a little bit of money, depending on where you were positioned, or maybe even a couple months later, you could have sold it, but you would have made nothing compared to if you would have held it and gave Jeff Bezos and that team to build a company that has been at my house 4 times today, right? Because in 1995, 96, 97, they didn't come to people's houses 4 times a day. They used the post office to deliver books, but it was a leader with a big vision. And that leader said, I'm going to be the #1 sales force, the place where most commerce online is done. And I'm going to do that by being customer centric. And I'm going to do that by delivering products within hours of people ordering. And people thought he was crazy. And he kept building and investing and moving things forward. But the people that hung in there with him, guys that got in early, have built massive wealth today. And that's what we're talking about. That's this community. We're not with mixed martial arts until, the Martians get to like a half an ETH. And it's like, oh my God, everybody dump, right? Let's get out of them. No. Why? Because as this develops, so you've got Martian Escape. It goes into a play to earn game and we start earning. And then the metaverse starts getting built out and these other things start to progress. And, and then the film comes out and the film, maybe it's a mediocre success. Maybe it's a blockbuster. Imagine how I'm going to paint a picture for you. You have your Martian. You go, oh man, they're up to 0.7 ETH and ETH is at $4,000. That's $2,800. I can go on my Hawaii vacation with that, right? So you go and you sell your Martian, seriously, and you go buy the tickets to that, and you go have a phenomenal time. You swim with the dolphins, you hang out on the beach, you go to a luau and have poi and eat beautiful roasted pig, and you just have this great time. Hula dancers and fire jugglers. I mean, it's just amazing. But here's the problem. The day the movie comes out, you find out that your Martian is in a pivotal scene in that movie. And all of a sudden, the person that bought it from you is holding an NFT that's worth 20 ETH, right? And you're like, oh my God, I could have paid off my mortgage. I could have maybe retired a year earlier. There's all kinds of more things I could have done. I enjoyed the vacation, right? A matter of fact, you go in your phone and you delete all the pictures from that Hawaii vacation because it reminds you of the fact that you sold your NFT too early. Now, I say that in a joking and a story way, guys, but there are hordes of people out there that are in that position right now. They had crypto early and they sold it, and it could have changed their lives completely. A matter of fact, there are people who today could be phenomenally wealthy. I'm going to bring up one right now. We've all heard of it. The gentleman who traded 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas. Okay. 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 pizza. There's the gentleman also who mined it on his computer, did not think it was going to be worth anything. He had thousands of them, I think it's a 70, 80, 90, $100 million on that hard drive. Threw the computer away. It went to the dump because he didn't think the value was there. There are story after story after story of people that have engaged, disengaged, and didn't do it. I'm going to say this. We've all heard the stories too of NFTs, CryptoPunk selling for 6 million and 5 million and 11 million. I have not done the research on this. And when I have time, when Rhonda doesn't line me up 42 Zooms in one day, right? And 14 phone calls on top of that. When that doesn't happen, I want to go see the person who sold that NFT for $11.7 million. I'm going to almost bet that was not the original person who bought it for 11 cents, minted it for 11 cents. I bet you they sold it somewhere along the way. Somebody said, oh my God, these things are up to a half an ETH and 1 ETH. I'm selling mine. And then somebody else bought it. Maybe somebody else bought it. Some of these could have went through 3, 4, 5 people's hands. So instead of that one person getting it and holding on to it and making that 100 million X return, right? 100 million X times, they sold out too soon, too early. They did not give the projects time to mature. There is no project that has ever been done, not Bitcoin, not Ethereum, that the day they launched is what they ended up accomplishing. Because you can't just say, hey, so again, when you're looking at this, guys, as a community, this is who we need to become. A lot of us are already, but if you're on here, this is who we need to become. We need to become the community that people like Austin sit down, and he did. He looked at it and said, that's the community that I want to support my project, not because they want to make quick money, but because they want to get behind projects and give founders the opportunity and the chance to shine and to deliver massive returns by the value. So I was just on the last call and I mentioned, you guys know that this is a term that I created. It's ROVC, return on value created. It's much bigger than an ROI, right? And an ROI is a return on an investment. And ROVC is a return on value created. That means you created value and you got a return on that value. And here's the beautiful part about it. This is circular. It keeps going. You create value for someone else. They create value back to you. You create value for somebody else. That creates value back. That's the power of a community. That's the power of blockchain and cryptocurrency like it has never been seen before on planet Earth. That is what we are sitting on. We are sitting on the precipice of something we have never been able to see before. I wrote this down, guys, and I want to read this to you. All of us online are a digital information money-making entity. You're online right now. You are a digital information money-making entity. The only problem up until now is it's others that are making the money. I want you to think about that. You are a digital information money-making entity. You share, buy, do anything online. You are being used by other companies. Your information, your digital footprint, your digital sovereignty is being marketed and manipulated for others to live phenomenal lifestyles, build $200 million mansions. I was looking, Jeff Bezos bought like some commercial building and turned it into a home, right? In Washington, D.C. or somewhere like that, right? It's like his 9th one. Did you guys go see the $400 million yacht that Jeff Bezos just like it? Go look it up online. Holy freaking crap.
Had to tear down a bridge to deliver to him.
I know. Go look at the yacht. This is one man's yacht. Why? Because he took your data, my data, our information, and he monetized it and he sold it to the highest bidders. And that gave him the wealth to then go out and buy a $400 million yacht. I cannot blame the guy, right? We did it. We did it ourselves. What's the difference now is there is a new way. Now, if we didn't do that, maybe we wouldn't be here today. But somebody sat down, his name is Satoshi, and he said, wait a minute, we don't have to do that. There's this thing called, cryptology, and there's this thing, the idea of a ledger. See, Satoshi didn't invent this stuff, right? He said, wait, let me take this over here and this over here and this over here and this over there. And he put it all together in a beautiful functioning project called Bitcoin. And then others said, wait a minute, this is unbelievably awesome, but we can do more with it. And that's what led to Ethereum and smart contracts. And it leads us to where we are today in this place. Okay. And again, I'm going to let Austin talk in a few minutes here because we're going to talk more about Martians and we're probably going to go through a few other updates here. I just want to get this across. Okay. So we now finally have the opportunity to move in the direction of our own digital sovereignty. Okay. However, it's not a given. It is not a given. It can be taken away from us. It can be snatched away very easily because companies like Facebook are going to spend $30 billion to build a metaverse. People like Google are going to take that money that they hijack from our digital personas, from us online, and they're going to use it to build what they believe the blockchain should be, what they believe, and they'll build it in their centralized fashion. Why? They have to, not even if they don't want to. They have to. Why? They have shareholders that demand that they stay profitable, that they grow their company. And the only way for them to grow them big enough is to say, we're going to take the metaverse, we're going to take crypto, we're going to take NFTs, and we're going to centralize them and bring them together in that way. Okay? What is our part in this? And I'm serious, guys. Our part is to make sure that it stays decentralized, to make sure that it's not the big people, the big companies, these big entities that can hijack what has been built here from the perspective of giving us back our digital sovereignty. That is what Ethereum thought when they started Ethereum. It's what Bitcoin thought when they started Bitcoin. That was the nature of where it started. But like everything else in this world, guys, people like us can either sit by and let things happen and let it be taken away, or we can fight every single day for this digital sovereignty to stay where it's at. And now there's another part of this that's trying to steal it. So we have these big companies that are going to come in and say, hey, wow, look at all this opportunity. But there's also people out there that are nefarious, greedy pigs that are only here to line their pockets and run off with people's money. And I don't know any nice way to say that, right? They're starting projects and they're scamming. So our answer to that is the Nexus ecosystem. It is TruBadger. It's supporting projects like Mixed Martian Arts, where we know the people that are behind it. We know their intention. We've talked to the partnerships with Ripples. We've talked to Randy on the film side. We've talked to the other partners, the other people that are getting involved with this, right? They've come to us and say, hey, please help us with your business experience. Please bring us your community because we want to shine for that community. And that's where we are at right now. So I know sometimes, guys, you're like, I don't know anything about crypto. I can't talk to Susan about it. Don't let that be the reason for us not to communicate. We have our onboarding system. We have calls like this. We have recording after recording after recording after recording. Hey, Susan, have you heard of the crypto space? Here's a recording of Peter doing a presentation on what the Nexus ecosystem is. You don't need to know anything. As a matter of fact, a lot of times when we think we know something, we don't quite have it. We screw it all up and then it messes things up, right? There's lots of recordings. There's lots of other people that will explain what blockchain is and what crypto is and what NFTs are and what all this stuff is. Stop trying to be the information and be a conduit to just share proper information. If we do that, I don't care. You could be the shyest person in the world and you can send out an email with some links in it saying, hey, Tom, take a look at it. Tom may or may not. But if you send it to enough Toms, eventually one of those Toms will open it up and they'll say, what is this about? And they'll read it and they'll look at it. And maybe Tom will engage, help us build a bigger, brighter community. Remember, collective intelligence means the bigger the collection, the more intelligence. Collective effort means the more people in that collective, the more effort that can be put in on a daily basis, because even if somebody's putting in a minute or 30 seconds or 10 minutes, whatever it is, it's collective. Collective network. Every person who joins the network increases the network power of the organization. How do we make the power of what we're doing more and more and more and more and more, where more people look at us? And I mean, seriously, if we do this right, guys, there will not be a single project on this planet that launches that doesn't go, first thing we need to do is go see if we can get Nexus ecosystem on board. We'll be there. We'll be top of the list, right? It's like, see if Nexus will pick us up. Why? Because it's going to end up with the community behind it that cares about what they're doing. They care about the future of the blockchain, and they do want to build massive wealth. But you don't build massive wealth by cutting and running. Mark my words, 90% or more of the people that try to get in and out of tokens, try to catch the tops, buy the bottoms, will end up losing money in the crypto space, no matter how big it becomes. Two types of people that are going to do it. People that take trading seriously or find a piece of software that can do it with and for them. And the people who hold. Those are the two that will build wealth. The people that are trading in and out on projects, getting in on early launches and cashing out right away. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you, if you are doing that, you are destroying and harming the project and every single other person that belongs in that project. I'm going to say that again. If you get in a project day one and it spikes and you sell out of that project, you put $100 worth of value in and you pull out $2,000 that day, you harmed the projects. You harmed the founders. You harmed the community. There's no nice way to say it. There's nothing that and outside of that. And it takes time to build. The reason to get in the project is because you believe in it and you're willing to support those people for, I would say, a minimum of at least 6 months, if not a year to 2 years, maybe even 3 years, to give them the chance to make it happen. The Martians, the software, the play to earn software won't even be available for 60 to 90 days. So you shouldn't even think about even jumping out of it. And that leads back to the first part of it. That means that you can only get involved in these projects with funds that you don't immediately need. You can't say, I'm going to hold if you're not able to hold. A lot of times we put ourselves in harm's way because we have the fear of missing out and we take actions that are not necessarily the right action because we're so afraid to miss out that we take action, and then we put ourselves in a position where we do end up harming a project or harming something because we have to then do something that we don't want to do. So again, guys, I am very passionate about this because if we don't fix this space, if we don't get it on the right page, then so many people will be harmed by it that they will beg the government to come in with draconian rules and regulations. There was a company called Uber. Uber did something that they should have never been able to do. Never been able to do. They went against the big taxi companies. They went against the insurance companies. They went against everybody, and they did something. But you know why they were able to get away with it? Because 98% of the people or more that took rides said this is better than the old way. And so when the majority of the people are benefiting from something, it's very hard to come in and crush it and take it away. Because people look at it and go, wow, look at the magic. Look at what they're creating. Look what they've done. And guess what? Some of the people who are the rule makers, their friends said, hey, you should take Uber. And they said, oh, no, I love waiting on a taxi and not knowing when it's going to show up or if it's going to show up at all. And then you get in and it's like dirty and torn up. And the last person before you vomited in the car or something, right? And the driver that didn't talk to you. No. A car showed up that was clean and comfortable, and a person, they were able to get in the front seat. Have any of you guys ever tried to get in the front seat of a taxi, without having a full load? Like, no, they're like, no, you get in the back. You ain't sitting next to me, because they're thinking you might be one of those people that are going to mug you, right? Because they don't have your name and your information. With Uber, it became safe because we knew the driver knew who you were and you knew who the driver was. What a phenomenal concept. But if it would have been for bad drivers, let's say the first 1,000 drivers, 600 or 700 of those were terrible and they ripped people off and they did a bad job, Uber probably wouldn't exist today. But the majority were good, and it was a good experience. That's what we need to become in crypto. That's who we need to be. You guys look at the TruBadger logo behind me. It is the lighthouse. It is that beaming light, almost like the bat symbol, right? You guys remember Batman and the bat symbol that would shine in the night, and you would know it called Batman to the rescue. This is TruBadger to the rescue. It is shining. It is leading people through this incredibly complex and difficult and scam-ridden area that has the greatest potential in human history to create wealth, freedom, and opportunity, and help make dreams come true that we've put up on the shelf and said, there's no way I'll ever be able to afford that. All of a sudden, we can take it off the shelf, and we don't need to be a good recruiter. We don't need to be a good salesperson. All we need to be is supportive, get involved, and be a part of it. And we can create true financial freedom. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Austin to talk a little bit about Martians and what we're doing and how excited he is. I believe I just saw over 1,300 already. Tomorrow will be a busy day. Thursday morning, should hit in that 2,200 range in the pre-sale with the commitments that we have. And then with the treasury and the pre-sale before that, that'll leave us about 600 or 700 on mint day. Here's what we got to do, guys. We need to sell it out within a very short. I started this by saying this, right? But you guys know if it's worth saying, I'll repeat it 6 or 7 times. I might say it a few more times before we get off here. Our goal right now, if you have a Martian in your wallet or you plan on putting one in it, our goal is to what? Sell out that mint within minutes. How do we do it? By sharing it with every single. If it's not on your Facebook wall, get it on your Facebook wall. Thursday, 2:00 Pacific, we're minting. Because I got to tell you, some of your friends you don't know are already into NFTs. They're already into them. They already own them. They, just like you haven't told them, they haven't told you. And so if you place it on your Facebook wall, if you place it on your Twitter, if you put it on your Telegram, they may see it and then show up on that day. We need to pack out that the public sale, and we need to get these things sold and make this an absolute sellout. Perception is reality. Let's show people what the reality is. And that is that the hottest NFTs on the planet are Martians. Go ahead, Austin. Take it away.
Hey, I don't even know how to follow that up. And so I think you just knocked it out of the park. When you take into consideration the private sale, the 333 sold there, and then you've got what we've got now. I mean, we're halfway done at this point. So yeah, it's super exciting to see everything to come together. I'm trying to think about what more I could add to everything said there. We're super excited about this after party. We've got I'm super excited just about the fact that we have projects that I looking up to us, coming to us, asking us to help guide them, set their foundations, help build up the structure and how to, like not any investor is a good investor. There is very bad money out there. So to have good people in the right position to help you succeed, and then to have the right practices, structures to help assist and help. I mean, just the pure fact that if you guys are minting NFTs right now, if you guys are doing the Martians, if you guys had the slightest hiccup or speed bump in this process, you guys have hopped on Zoom, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. They have been amazing. The ladies on Zoom, everyone on Zoom that's helping out right now with the community who's running into any kind of issues, these people, they're providing so much support, and that makes people feel safe. That makes everyone know that, hey, we're in the right place, and that's where you want to be. You want to be with the community from the start that feels comfortable and safe and doesn't need to be months down the road. If you can start in the right spot, then you can end in a far, far higher momentum. So projects that have incredible partnerships are dying to want to have a piece of what we've got, because once we get this out of the way, we're going to have the burning event. We're going to reduce our supply down. We're going to have the celestials come in. Once the celestials come in, we get a lot of the extra marketing from that. We get into our token. I am so excited because we've got a lot of partners overseas across in the Middle East, across Asia. We have a big marketing campaign lined up there of just partners that want to get a piece of the product, of the technology, of the foundations that we have in place now. So this is the first step to create the culture, the feeling, the vibe. What do we represent? Shout out, actually, there's Mark in the community here, and he has gone out of, he's one of the great examples of many that he saw that we needed extra story. Well, we were talking about it and I had a story, but he understood that the bandwidth our team has right now to add on a layer of creative writing. So he's brought in a group of writers who are phenomenally skilled. And now we're looking at having a whole comic series built out of people who are just passionate about the space and passionate about the storyline that we have. And that is what community drives. That is one of so many examples of lots of people getting into the community, answering questions, just being fully supportive. And so we're positioning ourselves super, super well because I'm super excited about phase 2, because everything that we have on this foundation it's funny that like everyone sees the success, but they don't see the foundation. They don't see the months of work that leads to the starting point and looks like an overnight success. Some people will view this as an overnight success, but they're not going to see 6, 7, 8, 9 months that came into preparation for something like this to come to life, right? Or the years of practice. So, and community building, and then the decades of experience each leader brings to the table. And so it takes a long time to bring this together. And we're excited that there's literally not one person on this entire project that I'm not over the moon excited about working together with. I'm looking at a couple of questions. I want to answer a few questions here. And so with the burn of the Martians, is and will the game changer, as well as reduce the supply and create more value? Burning the supply, reducing the supply so with the reduced supply, there will be fewer in supply and demand. It will help increase the value. You want deflationary processes, not it's better than keeping at 4,000. So that, and then also the celestials will bring in, they will have an additional value. And there's a partner we have who has I really don't want to give it away. So there's just a partner and he has some great technology, and we're looking forward to incorporating that with the celestials. And so that is what I will say, because any more than that might be, let's leave it to that, because we've delivered on everything we've said we would. And so trust that we've got something really good in plan for the Celestials and what we'll do with those. Looking forward to selling out the Martians on Thursday. Been helping people get them for the last couple of hours. Someone asked early, out of the 4,004, how many commons, uncommons, rares, and Celestials? Great question. There won't be any Celestials that'll come out of this mint. You're going to find commons, uncommons, and rares. When we don't know right now the exact numbers, because what happens is once everything goes through the generator, it's going to go into what's called rarity.tools, which is the website all NFT projects will go through, and it's going to give a full breakdown. And when it gives a breakdown, that's going to be revealed to everybody. So that's in the Celestial. There is no set amount of Celestials. There will be, each of them will be very unique to each other. And it will be open 24, maybe 48 hours to burn your Martians and collect a Celestial. So it's not something that, hey, at any given time, you can just go collect a bunch of Martians. We don't want a ton of Celestials. So it'll be a unique experience. There'll be so many. And that's how we're going to go about each of the events that we're going to have. There's going to be multiple different styles, because on Mars, there's not just one breed of Martians. There are factions all over the planet. And so it's not in our interest to go and start selling more NFTs. We want to have this collection. We want to focus on this collection for now. We want to get all of the utilities. We want to get to the token. And we want to have a story, and we want to have an incredible value proposition behind every single Martian here. And once that's there, and once we have the token, once we have a great utility to have more NFTs, we can have that then. But there'll be a very good addition that will add more value to the collection that exists. So I hope that answered those questions. I'm trying to see if there's any other questions
one here. Austin, are you able to go over briefly on how the P2E will work on Martian escape game? So to play to earn.
Yeah, so the play to earn that we have, it's better to keep it general, because until we get to the development processes, the play to earn, there's essentially, if you want the best kind of sneak peek that I could kind of give is that we are driving a massive amount of creative energy into MetaMars. Martian Escape is going to be the best arcade game. Now, if you want to get the closest experience to what we're taking and then putting on steroids, I would look for, if you want to check out Jetpack Joyride, that is a game that has the idea that we're taking, and then we have an entire upgrade in storyline, in back-end access, and creating communities within it. So earning through events, completing events within the game. I have an entire sheet spread out that game design. Ultimately, it's achievements through, there'll be special events, there'll be common activities, similar to staking on a token, but the difference, similar to earning how you would on a game that's staking on a token. However, we will have a bunch of systems within it. As the monetization within the game grows, so does the earning. So if you have a Martian, you own part of Martian Escape, you want to help grow and promote it. The more people that are playing it, our monetizing increases. That monetization gets back into the community. So that's ultimately the functionality and ecosystem of the earning. And I hope that was satisfying. Let me know if there's more that I could expand on. Thumbs up. Awesome. Sweet. Yeah. So we're excited to find out a little bit more information. Filming on Gamer Down starts soon, and there's going to be a lot more stuff coming from that. And we have some more. We're just going to keep pumping in more partnerships. We've got some merch coming up with our partnership. We have our first step into tapping into Asia is a clothing collaboration we have with Auntie's House, which is a clothing brand that's partnered with huge brands like Hypebeast and ZipMix. They're connected with all the biggest influencers of movie stars out in Thailand. And then we're also in talks with Lewis Tan on creating an extension in the games with Lewis Tan, who's the lead actor of Mortal Kombat. So we've got so many things in store, but I'm excited for phase 2 because we've gotten this far just on word of mouth, and now we've got the credibility to go behind it. We've got the community, and we have some incredible connections within not just companies of. We have some incredible connections that we're going to be getting some phenomenal work done at super low costs. So I want this to be a blue chip. This is going to be a blue chip project faster than any project has ever been a blue chip project without being backed by some company like Meta or some company like whatever, because we've got so much community driving it, and there's just so much internal drive between Ripples and everything. We're leading the way, and everybody wants to get their spatial web technology put in, and we're the broker to Middle East and Thailand for a lot of the partnerships that are expanding their technology. So
real quick, Dean, if you're having problems getting your Matic wallet to open at this point, what I would do is go into network settings and reload it again, put in new information and try to reload the wallet to see if you can get it unstuck. You might have a transaction in there that's stuck or something, but I would definitely go try to reload that now, because we've had, over 1,300 successful purchases. So I would definitely just go in, click on network, and then just go take all the Matic information, replace it, and then hit save again and try to resave it and see if you can get that there. Also, too, in the settings in your MetaMask, you can go in and clear the older transactions and then try it again from there. That's what I would do.
There was also one other thing. I'll remember it.
So Jeff is asking, how will the renting out of the Martians go?
That's what it was. So the way the renting will go, the way that we've discussed going about this is we're going to start off. It's not good to have a barrier of entry. If someone can't play a game, if there's a barrier of entry for someone to start playing a game, to decide that they enjoy a game, it's not. You get less users on the platform. So the way that we will have it working is that as you play the game, there will be a randomizer, the characters of the characters. So like if I have a Martian, most people have seen the Martian that I have. So the best idea we have right now is that as a person plays a character, if that's the character that I own, I get a portion of the earnings that person gets from playing that character. So there's an even split among all Martians, that everyone will get an even. However, if I have an affinity towards a particular Martian because of a video I saw on TikTok, or because I see certain things that people are doing, or it's painted on a wall and I have an affinity towards that painting, and I favorite that Martian, and that's the Martian that I want to play exclusively, I'm going to pay a slightly larger tax of my earnings to play as that character, because I want to experience that. I want to share screenshots. I want to share the experiences of that Martian if I don't own it. So it's more of a licensing rather than a just, hey, you can't play the game without paying a rent. That's the process we're first thinking about, rather than because then that way it makes sure that every single person we get the most people on it because you want a large user base more than, and then while they're playing the game, we can monetize it as people are paying to play the game for boosters, upgrades, appearances, anything like that. That creates a larger liquidity pool behind the game, which gets paid out to all the Martians that are on the game. Does that make sense? I hope that to us it's
yeah, no, that makes
exciting 'cause
sense.
it gets
Yep.
the greatest spread.
One of the big questions that people are asking
Got
is
it.
what's commons and can commons be more valuable than rares? Look, guys, it comes to supply and demand. If somebody wants something, right? These are all individual. Everyone is unique. So when you start talking 4,004, and then you start talking about, let's say, 100 or 300 get burned for celestials, right? Now you're talking maybe 3,700 pieces. Let's say 20,000 people that want to play the game. That means for every 6 people that want to play the game, right? There's only 5, or, really for every 5 point something people, there's only 1 NFT, which means that all of them are rare in that sense, right? It's just as a whole, as a group. And so I'll use Bored Ape Yacht as a thing. There are rares there and there are commons. The difference is a common you can only buy 1 house with, and a rare you might be able to buy 4 houses. But here's the thing, you can still buy a house with an NFT, right? That's a common, because again, it's when you're thinking common in a baseball card setting, let me put it this way, a common in baseball cards, they make 100,000 of them or 500,000, right? There's massive numbers of them made, and there's probably as many commons of that as there are collectors. So there's 500,000 people that want to collect the cards. There's probably 500,000 of each common, because the way they put it together is everybody who wants to can build at least a set of commons. It's the rarer ones in those. So this is a little bit of a different thought process. When you think common, it is still something that can earn in the game, and it can still produce that type of stuff. So I got to tell you, to me, it doesn't matter what NFTs I get. It's 4,004. Every one of those has the potential to be extremely valuable in the factor of the gameplay and as the factor of the desire of people want it. Let's say it gets to 1 million people are playing the game, okay, which is totally possible, right? There's 5 billion people that are going to be in the modern economy. Let's say 1 million of those, a very small fraction of those, decide to play the game. 3,800, 3,700 NFTs and 1 million people that want to play the game. You tell me one of those that isn't rare at that point, right? Supply and demand. What if 10 million people want to play the game? What if 20 or 30 or 40 million people want to play the game? As a matter of fact, if 50 million people want to play the game, that's only 1% of the population that'll be in the modern economy. That's not a big percentage, right? So these are possible numbers. So let's go at 1/100th of a percent of the people that want to play the game. You're still talking about 5 million people who could possibly want to play this game and have that rare of it. So no matter which one you get, just be grateful that you're able to get one. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be very jealous of you, okay? Because you have a Martian NFT and they do not. All right. What else we got going, guys?
Oh, I was muted, sorry. Also, keep in mind that our supply is so low. We're not doing a 10,000 supply NFT. So even a common could be considered extremely uncommon, because if there's 1,000 to 2,000 people holding 4,000 Martians or 3,000 Martians because a bunch of them got burned, then it itself is rare. And that's what the collection will be, is with all of the assets and the way to earn passive income on staking the game, on staking it, you're earning just holding the Martian, and people gaming, you're literally earning. That's one way. Then at the same time too, we're not saying that's going to be any particular Martian. It doesn't need to be a rare Martian. There's no affinity towards a celestial, a rare, or a common for what's going to show up in the film, or what Martian, someone's going to want to represent in a display of promotions. So you never know which one is going to be the most. Sometimes it's the most common ones there's been a lot of common Bored Apes that have been hyped up huge just because it looks like someone or it looks like something. So we only set the base layer of what the rarity is. Then what happens is the world will see it and they will actually say, yeah, that one doesn't have the most rare traits, but the way everything comes together, I like it. So you don't know so we're not actually saying what the value of it's going to be. It's going to come down to, if you have a unique looking one, then you could position in a way that people could relate to. You could promote your own Martian in ways that it's maybe it looks a little bit funny, and maybe you can put them in the middle of get them on the altar app and put them in front of some situation that becomes a viral video. Now you've got thousands of people who resonate with that video and they're laughing at it, and now they want to have that Martian. So as these experiences share with each of these characters, people are going to have an affinity towards the different characters, but that's up to you in the way that you share and you want to promote what you've got. So so there's so many ways, there's so many avenues in which every single one of these Martians will have their own unique value to it. Yeah.
I was just thinking about that. So only we had something that was really funny that we could turn into a viral video that has something to do with a Martian and somebody we know. Oh, just a thought for later. I'll think about that tonight.
We don't know what you're talking about.
No, I don't. I have no idea. I'm delirious. So, I have a question that I'm going to answer. So, is there anything at all? I mean, today's been all about Martians. So, what about tomorrow? Is there anything going on? If you weren't watching the 6,000 Zooms that were going on today, and you didn't know, we haven't done a post on it yet. But tomorrow at 2:00 Pacific, we're going to come back for a few minutes just to temperature check and see where everybody's at and get a sense of how it's going and answer some questions. Dawn will be available, and the Zoom rooms are probably still open for another 8 minutes. They're open. Probably going to stay late. I'm just saying they're probably going to work overtime today. Sorry, Peter, they're going to work overtime. And he's happy about this. So, and then tomorrow night at 7:00 Pacific, we also have our burn party, and we have a special treat for everyone tomorrow night at our burn party, because we're going to introduce you to a singer-songwriter who just happens to be going to the Super Bowl after party with Peter and Jan and David to represent TruBadger. She's a crypto queen and a phenomenal singer-songwriter, and she's related to TruBadger. She's a TruBadger holder. Just saying. So it just doesn't stop. The fun just keeps going and going and going. So don't forget to join us for the burn party. We're not going to burn any aliens tomorrow, though. Promise me this, right, Peter? We're not going to burn any aliens.
No, none.
Good, because that whole thought about burning aliens just disturbs me. I'm a bit worried.
Maybe we need a new word.
Yeah, we do. We might need. We'll melt them. We liquefy them. Oh yes, because they could come back to life if we liquefy them. I like it. So we have anything else?
We also, so we have tomorrow also Goat Society. They are the fastest sellout project of 2021. We have an AMA with them to share all of Mixed Martial Arts Club at 5 p.m. Pacific. So with their community, so we're going to tell them about everything that we're doing. They're going to find out about the film. They're going to find out about the NFTs. Understand that, hey, they got 10 minutes to get in on the public sale before all of them are gone. So we got goats in the house. I don't know what else to say. They pick up things real quick. On Thursday, we have an exciting project as well that we're presenting, that we're doing an AMA with, and they are. It is a think about Laugh Factory flipping the metaverse upside down. That's the best way I could kind of put it. Peter, maybe you have another way you could explain their what they're building. They've got a partnership with Oculus, which is kind of what is really exciting as well.
I think their goal is to democratize and decentralize the area of being comedians. I mean, if you really think about the nature of being a comedian, you know, why do we see the same comedians over and over and over and over and over and over and over again? Because it's a very small circle of people that can get the exposure to become these big stars, right? The Eddie Murphys or the, you know, whoever it is that's a big star. So their idea and concept is that in these metaverses, there'll be tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, eventually millions of people. And what they want to be able to do is give more comics a chance to make it in the space. So they're starting with the how can you say, established comedians, but their ultimate goal is to have open mic night where they have these clubs in the metaverse where people can come in and deliver it. You know, I mean, I don't know how many comedians try out for like America's Got Talent, but you know, you see the lines of people lined up, tens of thousands of people literally get on there for like maybe 24, 36, 48 people to actually have a chance to do it. So the idea is that by utilizing blockchain and crypto and this metaverse, it gives people a chance. Steve needs to go and be a stand-up comic, right? He's got that dry, wonderful humor. He uses it occasionally. Him and Jan need to probably do it like a battle off of wittiness, right? Along those lines. Well, they don't have a chance to do that right now because they can't find that stage. These guys are going to create that stage. It's a very interesting concept. The neat part is they already have experience in the space. This is what I love about it. There's going to be areas that we don't even, I mean, you're going to be like, oh my God, yeah, I didn't even think about doing an NFT for that or crypto for that or whatever's happening. So it's exciting for us to be able to finally, you know, participate and be a part of it. And who knows, you might be, maybe you're not that funny, right? But maybe you can write jokes and then you can collaborate with other joke people and you write the joke and then they deliver it, right? Because you got the chops for writing, but not the ability to deliver it. Boom, collaboration, moving things forward. And then maybe you come up with like the hottest joke in the world. You can NFT that joke and then have people that will then go monetize it and you can build residual income off your joke. So, you know, again, it's a neat project. The good thing is they're collaborating with us. They're going to share with our audience. We share with our audience the beauty of the blockchain, the beauty of what we're building here. Instead of that competitive plane, like, well, let's crush that project. It's no, let's let both projects rise. And then the better project that is brilliant at building community and then understands the value of a community, that'll be one that'll rise to the top and create this amazing, you know, atmosphere. And just happens to be that Mixed Martian Arts has the best community in the world behind it, right? Between what PMG is building, between what's being built here, it's dynamite.
And that's why they're going to give utility. All the utility on theirs, they're going to give 100 of them to ours. There's going to be at least 100 to 150 of our Martians that will give all the utility that theirs would.
Yeah.
And
that's the yes. Yep. It's going to be that way in this wonderful meta. So, you know, you have a celestial Martian. It might be eventually someday 5, 10, 20 projects where you can take that and use it in another game and to earn or to get access to events or clubs or whatever it may be, or information or data. So this is going to be an interesting world that we're moving towards. And I don't mean interesting in a bad way. I think interesting in a very good way, where we have a very bright future ahead of us in pulling things together. And it's all about the blockchain and where we're headed to, and that digital sovereignty that we all need to gain back and have. You know, maybe you can pick up some of those big giant houses on a discount once we all get back our digital sovereignty, and they're not able to monetize them in such a fashion as they are right now.
Or we could buy a spaceship. See.
We need to go see. Maybe some of the Martians want to go home.
I know. I need to go visit my Martian. You know.
Well, yeah, you got to go see. It's like a friend when they take you on a trip. You go see where they lived and where they went to school and where they like first, had their first kiss or their first whatever it is.
Yeah.
We got to go to Mars so our Martians can take us around and show us the first place where they, did whatever Martians do, right?
I love this. I love this.
Hey, fun fact. Considering we're nearly we're just touching 1,500. Let's hear a hoorah. Awesome. Considering the treasury and the private sale, we're beyond 2,000. So we are past 50%. I would say it's about realistically about 1,800 Martians that are left to be purchased now.
And there goes another one. It's up. It's
gone. No, I think that was my shawarma. Uber Eats is on the way.
Well, as soon as this call is done, I'll actually have some time to go and take care of my couple little Martians and make sure they're all sorted. So I don't know. Peter probably didn't have a chance either. We kept him running today. If everyone can just put a 1 in the chat, I'm not going to tell you why. I'm just going to say put a 1 in the chat here on Zoom or on YouTube. Everybody put a 1 in the chat. Okay.
Is that how many Martians everybody's going to send to my wallet?
All right. Oh, you hope so, because there's a couple of like really long ones and there's like
Marty's sending a lot.
Yeah,
Looks like
Marty's
there's a
sending a lot.
Hispanic one in here too.
That is right there. All those ones is the standing ovation for Mr. Peter Gantner and the outstanding job you have done today, sir. Thank you so much I drove him everywhere today. He was like popping in everywhere. Hats off. Well done, Austin. Amazing job your team did. Congratulations to you guys. And you briefly said, this is just after what all this time of work and getting it all pulled together. Your team is awesome. And it's such fun to have you guys in our community. You've made today.
We're blessed.
Would have thought.
Also, you have to take your hats off for the ladies. So Rhonda, Dawn, Sharona, they have night and day worked to get this put together, get it done. The amount of hours that they put in sorting through things, making sure that right deposits, and then of course the onboarders all day long, people coming and saying this isn't working or I don't have this, and then fixing. If the onboarders helped you guys in the last couple days, put a 1 in the chat to say thank you for them coming to your rescue and helping you, or they helped somebody. Put a 1 in there, guys, because it's just incredible the amount of time and effort and energy that they're putting in to help you guys get through this. And it makes it a lot easier. I have to say before this, and I said this earlier on a call, there were a lot of opportunities where I could have made some huge returns, but I would go and find out that the project was on like AVAX or on Polygon, and I didn't have it set up. So instead of going through and learning how to do it, because it's like, I got to go figure it out, it could take me a day or two, I just pass on it. One of them on ADA, right? It was an absolute staggering project, over 100x return that I could have made at one point. I don't know where it's at right now, but I passed on it because I didn't have it set up. I wasn't able to just go and pop in there and do that. I was going to have to go get the crypto. I was going to have to go get another wallet. I was going to have to go through all of that stuff. And I'm not the only one that has passed on opportunities for things to happen because of that specific issue. So by having the onboarders, it's helped a lot of us not have to go through those hoops and jump through and figure that stuff out. And so it's pretty incredible the amount of work and effort and stuff they've put in. Carolyn has just been you know, she's on, she's like, I got to go back. I can't hang out with you guys. I need to go and help the people on the Zoom. So thank you for that, guys. That makes us special. You guys make us special, and we're just going to keep jamming along.
We could not be, and the project could not grow to what it's going to be without you guys. You guys are the blood, the DNA in the community, and what makes everything possible for anybody like Peter or anybody, or even like for myself. If it wasn't for you guys, I would have lost my head by now. You guys keep all of the sanity intact, and so for that, I'll speak on behalf of all TruBadger and all the Metamars and PMG. We're truly grateful to all of you guys' work.
This is a blast, man. This is a blast.
Thank you, guys. Well, I have more Zoom calls to do. I've got work to do, so I've got to go. I got to jump on with Jason and look over some artwork for a project that we're working on. So a lot of stuff left to do for the evening, and then all day. Rhonda's run me around the block, so I didn't get any of the work I'm supposed to do, writing up things. I have to write a piece.
He's got a book report to do.
I got a book, right? So there's a book being published on cryptocurrency, and I'm writing a small chapter in there, a write up on that I got to do. I've got to read a 17-page contract. So I got a few things to do yet today, but love what I do. Love working with you guys, and let's crank over a couple thousand Martians tomorrow, complete it Thursday morning, and then sell out this. You know, there's anything you guys can do. Okay, you want to get me an early Christmas present? Let's sell out the public sale in like 5 or 10 minutes, right? So that would be like an early Christmas present for me, just for us to sell this out in 5 or 10 minutes. All right. So let's see how much you guys love me, and if you're willing to give me a beautiful Christmas present, which is selling out the public sale in 5 to 10 minutes. All right.
I love it. Absolutely. You got it.
It's written in the stars.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. We'll see you at 2:00 tomorrow, Pacific, right back here. Same Zoom room, same YouTube channel, 2:00 p.m. and we'll Pacific, and we'll just check in on the Martian developments, and we'll see you at the burn party, and who knows where else will pop up. So everybody have a great night. Dream of green Mars.